She'll never fix that engine. Not without help. Not with those hands. Laughter echoed through the workshop, heavy with the scent of grease and burning metal. A group of men, all seasoned mechanics, stood in a circle, their arms crossed, eyes fixed on a girl, no older than 20, with oil-stained overalls and determination in her eyes. In the center of the chaos stood Mr. Harun, the boss of the shop, grinning arrogantly. Tell you what, kid. If you can bring this engine to life in 2 hours, you'll earn your place here. Fail, and you leave. Deal. The girl wiped her hands, her heart pounding against her ribs. She was Ruba, daughter of Master Imran, the most respected mechanic in town, who had passed away just 6 months ago. Deal, she said softly, but with a strength that silenced the jeers. Ruba hadn't planned to work in her father's garage. She had dreams once, engineering school, her own startup. But after her father's sudden heart attack, she'd left university, buried her dreams, and picked up his wrench. The garage had meant everything to him. Now, it was her duty to protect it. But ever since Master Imran's death, the shop had changed. Mr. Harun, once a partner, had taken over and slowly pushed Ruba aside. He allowed her to stay, mostly to mock her. In his eyes, she was just a girl playing dress-up in a man's world. And today, he was ready to humiliate her completely. The engine they wheeled in was ancient. A V8 truck motor, rusted, neglected, dead. The perfect trap. Ruba stood silently in front of it, closing her eyes briefly. She remembered watching her father work on engines like this late into the night. He had never needed a manual. He had taught her to listen, to the metal, the sounds, the silence. He believed machines had a soul. That belief now echoed in her as she touched the cold steel. I don't need your help, she told one of the junior mechanics who timidly offered a hand. But I could use silence. Surprised, he stepped back. For the first hour, she worked methodically, diagnosing the wiring, replacing corroded spark plugs, draining the fuel, and carefully cleaning each piston with a cloth that had once belonged to her father. Grease clung to her face like war paint. Her fingers bled from a slip on a jagged bolt, but she didn't flinch. Outside the garage, word had spread. The street filled with people. Her father's old clients, neighbors, strangers, even children who used to play in the shop after school. They watched through the windows in awe, not just at what she was doing, but how she was doing it. Grace, grit, and unwavering focus. Inside, the mechanics grew uneasy. Mr. Harun's smirk faded as the clock ticked down. You've got 15 minutes, he barked. Tick-tock. Ruba didn't answer. Her hands trembled as she replaced the final belt. Sweat dripped from her brow. She climbed into the driver's seat, whispered a prayer under her breath, and turned the key. Silence. A few men chuckled. Then, a cough, a choked sputter, and then, roar. The engine growled to life, loud and powerful, like it had been reborn. The ground trembled. The entire garage erupted in gasps. People outside clapped and cheered. Children jumped. Some older men wiped their eyes. But Ruba just sat there, eyes closed, hands gripping the wheel. She had done. Mr. Harun stepped forward, face red, voice shaky. You must have had help. This isn't possible. Ruba stepped out, wiping her hands. You don't believe in me. That's fine, but that engine does. My father did, and now everyone else here does too. She turned to the crowd. This shop belonged to my father. He built it with his hands. With honesty, with love, and today, I take it back. The people erupted into applause. Mr. Harun, outnumbered and humiliated, had no choice but to step down. That night, as Ruba locked the garage, she looked at the faded sign above, Imran Auto Works. She touched it gently, tears in her eyes. From that day forward, Ruba became known as the Iron Daughter. The girl who could speak to engines. Her reputation spread far beyond the city. And she didn't stop. She reopened her university admission, studied at night, and by the end of the year, had designed her own hybrid engine prototype with local parts. But no matter how high she climbed, she never left the garage. Because that was where she had earned her respect. That was where her father's soul lived. Moral: never let others define your limits. Respect, strength, and legacy are not bound by gender, but by courage, hard work, and the belief that even the dead can come alive again, if you love them enough.